Hello, friends. Once again, we begin with the syllabus of subject of electronics, in which we discuss the paper number first, and in which we have the first chapter as electronic instruments. So, in previous lectures, we discussed the concept of CRO and its different parts, and then we discuss about the how CRO function as the waveform, or it will show the waveform of any input signal. Now we have the applications of CRO, in which already we have discussed the two applications. Now we begin with the third application of CRO. Check the presentation. Check carefully. Okay. So in previous lecture, we begin with the just begin with the application of CRO, in which we have AC voltage measurement, DC voltage measurement, time period measurement, frequency measurement, phase measurement. So these 1 to 5 we are going to discuss, and that will be in our syllabus. Again, we have more application as number 6 in TV, radar and medical instrument, then number 7 component testing, and number 8, that is a distortion measurement in signal. So already we have discussed number first application as AC measurement. Then we have already discussed the DC voltage measurement. And now we have the time period measurement for an AC signal that is given to the CRO. So any signal that is in a form of AC has the time period as well as the frequency. So that can be measured with the help of the CRO, and the technique is given like this. So check carefully. Apply the input signal to vertical Y input. So we connect the input signal to the vertical Y input. Adjust time per division knob so that one or two cycles of input signal are seen on the screen. Now check carefully. So we set the time per division. So time per division we have to set so that one or two cycle, crest and trough, crest, trough. So this will form one cycle of wave. So either we require we set the one cycle or two cycle. Suppose if we select the two cycles input on screen. Now in that case, we have to measure the time period by the following formula. Time period capital T is equal to number of divisions on x-axis into time per division scale for one cycle. Now check carefully how many divisions on x-axis in one cycle, and the knob we have set. The knob is time per division. Knob is set for one cycle. So assume that time per division is equal to 5 millisecond per division. So suppose if we set the time per division is set as the 5 millisecond per division. So in figure above, check carefully 1.10 number figure. So this figure we have to discuss. Check carefully. This is one cycle. And for these one cycle, we have how many divisions on x-axis or horizontally? Suppose we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 divisions are there horizontally. So here we have time period T is equal to number of division on x-axis. So x-axis for one cycle, how many divisions are there? 8 divisions for one cycle. Half cycle, crest part 4, trough part 4. So that we have total number of divisions are suppose 8. And time per division we have assumed that 5 millisecond per division. So time per division knob is set on 5 millisecond per division here. Now in the figure we have T is equal to 8 divisions into, and time per division set as a 5 millisecond per division. So 8 into 5, 40 millisecond. So this will be division will be get cancelled, only we obtain millisecond. So 40 millisecond is the period of this signal that is connected to the input or as the vertical Y input. So this is the measurement of time period. Now similarly we have the another application, the frequency measurement. So check carefully, we have two methods for frequency measurement using internal time base, that is called direct method. So in that method we have the following points, check carefully. Apply unknown frequency signal to vertical Y input of CRO. So that we know already, unknown frequency signal we have to connect to Y input. Now, second number point, adjust time per division knob so that one or two complete cycles of input signal are seen on screen. So, adjust time per division knob, one or two cycle, that is again same as the period measurement. So, one or two cycles should be observed on screen. Now, number third, time period T is equal to number of division on x-axis into time per division scale on one axis. So, here is the same calculation of time period, and when we calculate the time per division, so check carefully, assume that time per division, so that is equal to 10 millisecond per division here. So in figure 8 divisions and 10 millisecond per division we have set as the knob of time per division. So 10 into 8 is 80 millisecond. Now according to the formula, frequency is equal to reciprocal of time period. Accordingly, f is equal to 1 upon t, and 1 upon 80 millisecond. Millisecond we have to convert into second. So that is minus 3 become plus 3, and 1 upon 8 is equal to 1 upon 80 is equal to 0.0125, and when we merge this 10 raised to 3 with this, so 12.5 hertz. So this is the direct method. Initially we calculate period, and then from period we calculate the frequency. Period calculation is same as the previous application time period measurement. Okay. Now we have the second method, that is the complicated one, and that uses the Lissajous figures. So there are some figures will be observed on screen of CRO, and that figures called Lissajous figures. So what are the points in that we have one by one discuss here? A known standard frequency. Now check carefully, this method is important one, and to observe the different shapes, for example circle, straight line or ellipse, that figures will be observed on screen of CRO, and that figures are called Lissajous figures, and that will be obtained according to the two signals, combination of two signals given to the CRO. Now check carefully. Number first point is unknown standard frequency signal. So first signal is known standard frequency signal, for example 1 megahertz, 1 kilohertz. So that known standard frequency signal is applied to horizontal X input by using external trigger. So with the help of the knob external trigger, we supply the input signal to the horizontal X. So one signal is known, its frequency also known, and that will be given to the horizontal X input, and we have the external triggering will be used. Now number second, the unknown frequency signal is applied to vertical Y input of CRO. Now we have another, that is unknown frequency signal. So unknown frequency signal is applied to Y or vertical Y input of CRO. One is known signal given to X, unknown signal is given to Y. Now check carefully, then pattern called as Lissajous figures are obtained on screen. So these two signal X and Y, these will be overlap and interfere with each other, and because of that there is the figures will be produced, or figures will be obtained on the screen of CRO. Now check carefully. Now that next part is important, number fourth point. If a circle is obtained, so in on screen of CRO, if circle is obtained, unknown frequency is equal to the standard frequency. So unknown frequency and known frequency, that become equal if circle is obtained. So the same frequency, unknown frequency has same frequency as the standard frequency. So frequency are same if we obtain circle on screen. Okay. Number next is fifth. If ellipse is obtained, there is some phase shift. Now for ellipse shape, we have number of condition and there is certain phase shift between the input and output. Now we have the calculation of the unknown frequency. Unknown frequency is calculated by the following formula. Now check carefully. F unknown is equal to Fy, that is unknown frequency, that is given to the Y input. Number of loops cut by horizontal line. Now check carefully. This horizontal line cuts the number of loops and divide by number of loops cut the vertical line. So here we have taken the observed the 4 loops and in a horizontal line, and we have the ratio of that loops, number of loops cut by horizontal line. So we have horizontal line cut the loops and number of loops cut by vertical line. So this will be ratio into the standard frequency F standard frequency, that is known frequency. So in figure below, Fy is equal to 1 upon 4 into F standard. So 4 loops will be obtained in horizontal line. So 4 into F, only single loop, no loops in vertical direction. So 4 by 1 into F standard. So 4 times the F standard. Suppose F standard is 1 kilohertz. So the unknown frequency must be 4 kilohertz. So depend upon number of loops, we have this formula. Accordingly, we can calculate the unknown frequency. Okay. So this is the calculation using the Lysage's figures. So that shapes will be observed on the screen, and accordingly we have calculation of frequency. So that is a simple method, number of loops cut by horizontal line, number of loops cut by vertical line, and accordingly we have 4 by 1 F standard, 4 into F standard here. Now we have the next application, number 5th, that is called phase measurement. Now check carefully. Suppose the phase we have to measure for the vertical input. See here we have vertical input and here we have the audio signal generator. So frequency generator or audio frequency generator, and here we have input CRO. So from the audio frequency generator we have input to CRO, and from the output, horizontal output, again we have the circuit being tested and we have feedback like this. So these will be the connections for the phase measurement. Vertical input, horizontal input, that will be given accordingly like this. Check carefully the circuit here. So signal is given to the vertical signal from audio signal generator. So this will be connected to the Y input or vertical input. Now circuit is being tested and that will be given to the horizontal input here. Signals from audio signal generator first given to the vertical directly, and circuit is being tested, and after testing we have given the horizontal input here. So there are two input, vertical input and horizontal input, simultaneously given to the CRO here. Now check carefully what are the conditions. So we have the Lysage's figure once again. If we obtain the cross line like this, inclined line on CRO, that is overlapping of the two signals, horizontal, vertical, and then we obtain suppose line like this, then there is a phase is suppose theta is equal to 0. So phase is phase between the phase measurement. So input signal has phase 0 here. Now if you obtain the ellipse like this, shape of ellipse, and that will be in shape like this. So we have a number of combinations, and for that combination we have the number corresponding angle here. So we consider only 3 cases here. Theta is equal to 0, we will obtain the cross line like this. Suppose we have x-axis horizontal, vertical y-axis, and here we have the line like this. starting from origin, and this is rising continuously. So for that purpose, we have, for that diagram, we have theta is equal to 0. And number next is, suppose if you obtain this ellipse, then we have theta is equal to 30 degree. And if you obtain circle here, then we have theta is equal to, phase is equal to 90 degree. So that this much thing only you have to write down examination. So these are the three cases. Again, we have discussed the same thing in detail. A circle can be formed only when the amplitudes of both the signal are equal and phase difference is either 90 degree or 270 degree. Suppose we have one input signal and one reference signal. So these two signals we have to overlap with each other, and after overlapping we have different shapes on CRO, and that shapes will be, suppose one of the shape is suppose circle, and for circle the two signals are in phase, suppose 90 degree or 270 degree. So either 90 or 270 degrees between the phase difference between the two signals. Now suppose second number, if amplitudes are not equal and ellipse is formed with the phase difference 30 degree or 330 degree or 150 degree or 210 degree. So these are the combination or possibilities of phase between two signals if we have the shape of ellipse. So how ellipse is formed? Accordingly, we have 30, 330, 150, 210. So we have only taken one example here. If ellipse is obtained like this, so this is cross line, and in that particular plane, if we have, suppose in that direction only, we have suppose shape of ellipse is like this, then we have 30 degree here. Now number next is third. A straight line result when two voltages are equal in amplitude and either in phase with each other or 180 out of phase. Now check carefully, straight line result when two voltages are equal in amplitude and either in phase with each other or out of phase with each other. Suppose we have in phase, that is 0 degree. If line is cross opposite direction, this is one diagonal and here is another diagonal line, like this we have the inclined line, then there is a phase is suppose 180 degrees. So we have either same phase, that is 0 degree phase difference, or 180 out of phase. That is for a straight line. Okay, so these are the combinations of the shapes we can obtain on CRO screen, and accordingly we measure the phase here. So there are two signals simultaneously overlap with each other, and then we have the shape observed on the screen, and accordingly shape we have the phase between the input signal and reference signal like this. Okay, now here we have finished up the topic of cathode ray oscilloscope. So the 90 or 95% of syllabus of first chapter is of cathode ray oscilloscope CRO, and 10% syllabus is of the digital multimeter here. So DMM short form. So we begin with the second instrument or the second measuring instrument called digital multimeter. So again we have the two types of multimeter, analog multimeter and digital multimeter. So nowadays we are going to generally use the digital multimeter. So already you use in 11th standard we have that yellow color measuring instrument which has the number of range for current, voltage, resistance. So that instrument is called digital multimeter, in short DMM. So this is the block diagram given according to the textbook here. Now we have the number of blocks here. Check one by one, and then we have the function of each block in short and how the digital multimeter work to measure the either voltage or current or resistance here. So now check carefully. So we begin with the input. Check carefully. Input V voltage or ohm, that is common, and input A input current and voltage resistance, and here we have the input A, and second A means ampere, and here we have 10 ampere input. So voltage, resistance, input common. Now we have input for current, A input, and suppose we have range 10 ampere, then we have separate input here. So this is selection range for voltage, resistance, then we have current, and current range, higher current range, like this. Okay. Now we give input to the input protection circuitry. So input protection circuit will protect the circuit or circuit coming from any of the source, or the source generate the particular signal or voltage. That circuit should be protected, or the digital multimeter circuit should also we have to protect here. So this is protection circuit, and that protection circuit consists of the number of sub components, small components called operational amplifier. So that will be circuit is called input protection circuit. That circuit also protect the short circuit or high voltage, low voltage. So for that we have the input protection circuit here. Now from input protection circuit, signal goes to the, or the current or voltage or the resistance, that will be go to the function or range switch. So function or range switch. Function means either we have to calculate, we have to measure resistance or voltage or current. So that function we have to select, or a range switch. So that is a rotating switch on the digital multimeter. So by selecting function or range switch, we have the voltage divider and resistance reference. So the block called voltage divider, suppose we have to measure the 50 volt. So that 50 volt directly doesn't come to the display here, or display directly doesn't get the voltage, but that voltage you have to divide, and small version, how much division will be there? Divide by 5, divide by 10, divide by 50, 100. So that particular division is done with the help of voltage divider circuit, and we have certain resistance reference. So with the help of resistance reference and voltage divider, we divide that particular voltage, and that voltage is given to the AC or DC converter, or if it is DC, then it is again connected to function or range switch here. So for VAC, directly it is connected to AC to DC converter. If it is DC voltage, then it is goes directly to function or range switch. So with the help of that, it will be go towards the active filter, and with the help of active filter circuit, it will be filter the signal, and that will be connected to analog to digital converter here. So we have voltage, either suppose DC voltage. So DC voltage, suppose 50 volt. 50 volt, we divide the voltage by suppose 50, or 50 volt divided by 10, suppose. So 5 volt. So 5 voltage will be connected as input to the function or range switch. We select the range, and that 5 volt go to the active filter circuit, and from active filter, it is connected to the A to D converter, means analog signal converted into digital signal, and from analog to digital, it will be go to the display drivers, and from this digital converter, analog to digital, now the signal or voltage will be converted into digital form, and that digital signal connected to display drivers, and that display drivers will drive the LCD screen, liquid crystal display screen. So we consider an example of suppose voltage. So input voltage, now input protection circuit, function range, then a voltage divider, then it is connected to function switch active filters, then filter to A to D converter, from A to D display drivers, and from display driver to the LCD screen. So here we have given 50 volt, that 50 volt is display on LCD with the help of this particular sequence of blocks here. Now check carefully. Suppose voltage is AC. So here voltage divider again divide the voltage VAC. VAC to AC converted into DC, and from AC to DC converter we have again the block called the active filter, and from that filter again it is connected to the A to D converter, and then converted input, digital input connected to the display drivers. Display drivers send the particular run the liquid crystal display here. So this will be for voltage AC, VAC and VD DC. Sorry, VAC here and VDC voltage. Now check carefully for ohm measurement, resistance measurement. So this will be again function or range switch that will be connected to ohm to the again active filter, and then this will be again converted resistance converted into voltage, and that will be again display, and that resistance will be displayed with the proper selection of range here. Okay, so for voltage and resistance we have same particular sequence of blocks here. Only different is about the current. So current will be flow from this input protection circuit, then function range, then current shunts. Now we check carefully for 10 ampere and ampere, we have the 10 ampere switch as a range selection. So this current will be shunted here. If we have to measure 5 ampere current, so 5 ampere current direct doesn't flow through this all the blocks. If 5 ampere current is flow to the blocks, the circuit may get damaged here. So we have the shunt means parallel resistance. So current doesn't flow. 5 ampere current directly doesn't go to the all the blocks, but that will be divided here, and that division of current takes place. So the current will be shunted or divides, and that after division, the small portion of currents that will be go either suppose it is AC, so it is go to the AC to DC conversion, or if it is DC, ID, that is goes to the function or range switch, and after converting again it will go to the active filter circuit. Again, ID also connected to active filter. Now we have the same particular process. This will be A to D converter and display here. So this will be the particular role of the digital multimeter in measurement of current, then voltage and resistance. So this will be input conditioning circuit. This particular block is called input conditioning circuit. Now we have the band gap voltage reference. Reference voltage or reference divider will be given to the A to D, and that will be processed. Reference voltage is always given to the A to D because the analog signal, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, that will be converted into digital form. So that digital uh, particular signals already we have learned in paper number paper number second, and in that case we have the number of types of number system, that is the binary number system, decimal number system, hexadecimal number system, BCD. So for that purpose we require certain reference voltage, and that will be given directly to the A to D converter, and that A to D converter directly convert analog to digital and having specific particular code, and that code is given to display drivers. So that drivers may be 7-segment display drivers, and that driver will be connected to LCD screen, and so that the number will be displayed on LCD screen here. So this is the actual working of digital multimeter, and having the each particular function, a special function of the each and every block here. Now check carefully what we have to write down in examination. So check carefully the diagram here, different textbook having the different diagrams. So this is the complicated or the typical diagram of digital multimeter here. Now check carefully what we have the points. Number first, in digital multimeter, the signal readout is displayed automatically with a decimal point, polarity, and the unit. Now check carefully. Display automatically. Digital multimeter signal readout. Signal is directly display automatically. With decimal point is also there, polarity plus minus is also there, and its unit, how much in a kilo or in mega, accordingly we have the unit will be there. So this is automatic process. Now if we compare with analog or digital multimeter can be used for measurement of AC or and DC voltage, AC and DC current, resistance, continuity check, diode test, logic measurement, and HFE test also. So here diode continuity also we have, circuit is connected or circuit is breaks somewhere, so that continuity we can check. Already we know the voltage, AC DC current, resistance, diode also you know. So diode we can test here, and here also HFE, the field effect transistor or transistor HFE means the transistor we can also check using the either analog or digital multimeters. Now, number third, but in analog multimeter, inputs resistance changes with range, and in digital multimeter it is 10 or 22 mega ohm, which is same on all the ranges. This prevent the loading effect here. Okay. Now number fourth is, so this is the selection of range of resistance in case of analog meter. Now 0 ohm adjustment for each range is not necessary. So in case of digital digital multimeter, 0 is not required here. That is automatically the resistance will be, or the signal can be adjusted. Now number next is fifth, a digital multimeter can be used for resistance measurement up to 20 mega ohm. So we have the measurement up to 20 mega ohm, and the setting of 0 is not required in case of digital, but in case of analog we require the 0 setting adjustment. Now number six, it provide automatic range selection and overload indication. So in case of digital multimeter, we have the facility or provision of automatic range selection and overload indication. So either it is the range is selection. So for range, it will show the out of range like this. In case of the pointer, in case of analog meter, it will go out of range, and in case of digital, it will be display in the particular range. If it is not display, then we have suppose E exponential. Then we can change the range, and accordingly we easily obtain the directly the number. So it is easy for the easy easily we can get the uh, reading in case of digital multimeter rather than the analog meter here. Number next, accuracy is high, that is plus or minus 0.005%. The power requirement is considerably small. So here are the advantages of the digital multimeter over analog multimeter that we discussed in short here. Okay. Now how this work, the digital multimeter work here. So we have the working part of the digital multimeter. Number first point, when input is AC voltage, it is converted into DC. So already we have discussed this part in diagram. So AC is converted into DC for measurement, for measuring resistance. A direct current is supplied by ohms source that convert I to an IR voltage drop. Now check carefully for resistance measurement. If you have to measure resistance, then direct current means DC current supplied to ohm source. Ohm source means resistance. So we have any resistance, and from that resistance current will be flow. And when current DC current flow through that, we have potential across that resistance. That potential is taken as I into R, and from that potential we have the calculation of the resistance of that ohm source or resistance of that particular component. Okay. Now number third, to measure current, internal low value shunt resistance. Check carefully. To measure current, internal low value shunt resistance resistors provide a proportional voltage to be measured here. So for measurement of current, we have internal low shunt resistance. So we have shunt resistance internally connected. That current will suppose flow through that resistor, and accordingly we have the voltage will be produced, and that voltage is proportional to that current. So potential directly proportional to current, and that current will be flow through internal shunt resistor, and accordingly voltage will be calibrated. Voltage is calibrated in terms of current, and that will display the amount of current here. Okay, so that is number third point. Number fourth, when the DC voltage is too high, it is divided down to the range of 200 millivolt. When the DC voltage is too low, it is increased by DC amplifier. So the range we can select. DC voltage is too high, then it is divided. It is very small, low, then we have to increase by amplifier here. So there are two processes. Attenuation means decrease in strength, and amplifier means increase in strength of DC voltage. So that will be calculated or calibrated accordingly in number 4th point we have discussed here. Number 5th, the measured voltage can then be compared with the fixed reference. Measure voltage compared with the fixed voltage. Suppose fixed voltage is 1 volt and measure voltage is suppose 10 times the fixed voltage. So fixed voltage suppose 1 volt and measure voltage 10 times greater than that, then that must be 10 volt. So accordingly, there is a measurement process. The input resistance for the DC voltage range is 10 milliampere or 10 mega ohm to 22 mega ohm here. So check carefully. Here is C here. DC voltage range is from resistance. Input resistance is in a range of 10 mega ohm to 22 mega ohm. So range is given here. And number 6, but for AC voltage range, it is much less because the rectifier circuit required for AC to DC conversion. So resistance is less for AC here because AC we have to convert from AC to DC, and in that process there is a reduction in voltage here. Okay, number next 7, the meter supplies a fixed current in a forward direction and voltage across junction is shown on display. Now number 7th is important here. For testing of diode and transistor, these digital meters supply fixed current. So fixed current is supplied in forward direction and voltage across the junction is shown. So voltage is suppose large. Across junction voltage is large, then diode should be connected in reverse bias. If voltage across diode is very small, then diode must be in forward bias. So according to forward bias and reverse bias, with the help of voltage, we can check the testing or we can check the working of ordinary diode here. And same working is useful for the testing of transistor, that is PNP or NPN. So we already know the transistor, it has 3 terminals, emitter, base, collector, and there are 2 junctions, that is junction 1 between emitter and base and second junction between base and collector. And accordingly, we have the testing of 2 junctions. If it is properly shown, the voltage, then the transistor will be in working condition. Otherwise, there is a not immatching of the given reference figures, then there may be a damage of the transistor here. So these are the points or these are the methods to measure the diode and resistance or diode and suppose transistor. And before that already we discussed the current, voltage and resistance measurement using digital multimeter. So here we have finished up the chapter of the electronic instruments, that is first chapter from the syllabus of electronics paper number first here. Okay, so go through the all the topics, prepare yourself and draw corresponding diagrams carefully. Try that diagrams by repeating the videos. Check carefully video, pause the video and check what we have given carefully and prepare yourself. Okay, thank you.